Hey everyone, this is Casey with CReeves Makes, and welcome back to my channel. This is Coda. She's our newest addition to our family. She's a rescue out of Tennessee. One of the challenges that she's going through is that she likes to jump up on the furniture and on the couch. So what we like to do is try to keep her off the couches as much as possible. But I also noticed that she can't see out the front window of our house. So whenever somebody's outside or out front, she wants to be watching what's going on and be part of that. So we came up with the idea that we would build her a little step, or like a Pooch Perch is what we're going to call it. That way, whenever somebody's out front or we're outside watering flowers or playing outside in the front yard, and she's in the house, she can jump up on the Pooch Perch and be able to see out the window. So follow along today. We're going to build that out of plywood, and it's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to show some dado joinery to hold it all together, but there are several different ways you can do it. But yeah, follow along and watch as we build Coda's Pooch Perch. Coda, you sit. Good girl. I started the project with a 2 foot by 4 foot piece of 3/4 inch plywood. I marked out the top of the perch to be 18 inches by 24 inches, and each of the legs would be 10 inches by 24 inches. But this can be adjusted to fit the large variety of dogs out there. I started with the top and cut it to be just oversized, and then came back and cut the opposite side to get it to the 18-inch dimension. This gives you 2 clean edges to work with. I then set the fence to 10 inches and cut the 2 leg pieces. I chose to use my dado stack for this project, but there are a bunch of ways that you can mount these panels together. You can use butt joints and pocket holes, or simply screw through the panels to secure them together. You just want to watch the plywood as it can split when running screws into it. I always like to cut test grooves to make sure that the pieces fit well together. You do not want it too loose or too tight. Once my dado stack was tuned and ready, I cut dados on each long side of the top panel. I set the fence to be 3/4 of an inch from the edge of the dado blade. I then cut the dados into the leg pieces. These cuts were centered on the panels in the vertical direction. If you don't have a dado stack, you can also use a dado router bit. This is a 3/4 inch straight bit from Rockler Woodworking. With all the dados cut, it was time to do a dry fit. Note that there is also a center stretcher that goes between the legs. This adds stability to the step. The dado grooves allow for you to glue on 3 faces and lock the joints together without any hardware. Now I could have just stopped here and just glued it all together, but you know me, I can't make anything too easy. I wanted this to look nice. It was going to be in our living room next to our couch, and I just didn't want it to look like a box sitting on the floor. So I drew a simple shape on one side of the leg panel. I planned to use my bandsaw to make these cuts, but you can also use a jigsaw or scroll saw to cut out your shape. I started by double stick taping the 2 side panels together, making sure to keep the vertical dados aligned, and I then cut 1/2 of my design into the legs. I took those cutoffs and used them as a template for the opposite side of the same panel. This completed both legs at the same time. I then cleaned up all the bandsaw marks at the oscillating spindle sander. Next, I took all the pieces and stuck them together with a clamp and tried it out with Coda sitting on top. With a little treat bribing, she got up there easily, and I could see that the perch was a good fit for her size. Now all that was left was to clean up the edges with an 1/8 inch roundover bit and do some pre-finished sanding. It's always easier to sand all the panels prior to the glue up. The glue up was pretty straightforward. I filled all the dados with glue and simply slid the panels into place, making sure that everything was lined up and square. I then used my Bessey trigger clamp along with 6 of my Kliklamps to lock everything down. These Bessey Kliklamps are perfect for this kind of application. They offer an easy to use handle and one of the faces pivots to allow for some variance in the two parts being clamped. Once the glue had dried, I went back and cleaned up any squeeze out and got everything ready for finish. My finish of choice for this project was Deft Satin Spray Lacquer. It's a quick rattle can application and I do a few coats, sanding lightly between coats. Now all that was left was for Coda to test it out. Hey, I think she likes it. What do you guys think? Would you build one of these for your dog? Leave a comment down below and let me know. I'd like to thank Bessey for sponsoring this video and for supporting my channel. If you are interested in any of the clamps that I used in this video, I will leave a link down below so you can go check them out. Stay tuned for more videos to come. I'm Casey with CReeves Makes. Stay safe out there and thanks for watching.